Hello everyone, today's video is going to be 3 pastel looks with 3 pastel palettes for the springtime. I have been really excited to get into this video and to start filming it. So I have 3 pastel palettes here and I'm going to do one look with each palette. And so we have the Garden of Juvias, which is from Juvia's Place. I don't think this is around anymore. And then the other one is Nomad Tokyo Harajuku palette. This one I know for certain it is not around anymore. This is definitely an older formula for Nomad. The newest one actually to my collection I got in friend mail is the Bella Beauté Bar Secret Garden palette. So I'm really excited to get some nice use on this. This is just so beautiful. So we are going to be doing 3 different looks, one with each palette. I don't know if I'll be talking through all of the looks. I have done one other video that was kind of similar to this. It was like a week of green eyeshadow and I don't think I talked through any of them. I think they were just music play over and I don't think that's as fun. I would rather watch a video of someone putting their makeup on while they're talking. I don't want music over top of someone getting ready. I don't think it's entertaining at all. So in this first look today, I am wearing this like baby blue shirt. It is one of these puppy rescue things, but I'll show you guys the back. Like it has like a yellow doggy on it. So I really want to do my blankie's gone. I really want to do like a blue and yellow look. I want all these looks to be apart from each other. I think what we're going to do this blue and yellow look is we're going to start with the Tokyo Harajuku palette, because we do have some really pretty blue mattes in here and some pretty yellows, and we of course have this yellow shimmer. So I feel like it's just going to be a really good palette to do my blue yellow combination look that I really want to do. If you're using pastel eyeshadows or any sort of light colorful eyeshadow or colorful eyeshadow in general, I recommend using a white base. So I'm going to be using the e.l.f. No Budge Cream eyeshadow in all 3 of my pastel looks, just because to be consistent, but also to make these colors pop and shine like they're supposed to. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start with stamping these 2 blue shades in the outer portion. I'm going to want to try and focus the yellow more towards the inner portion. I'm thinking maybe I can do some fun liner depending on what version we're going through, which is why I did not do my face yet, because I didn't know how creative or not creative I was going to get with the eyes. But I'm just going to start out by stamping some of these blue colors. Using a white base definitely helps make these shades pop, but I've also noticed it is so beneficial for you to stamp your eyeshadows and kind of blend by going up and down. I think that is just the most successful I have been using pastel colors. I also wanted to do this video to show that you can use palettes like this, like the Juvia's Place palette, as a standalone palette. You do not need to use it as a companion, although they are beautiful companion palettes. I think these pastel palettes can be out on your vanity all year round. They do not need to only be the springtime, which I know I struggle with that from time to time. I may want to use just a little bit of this like blackish gray color just to try and deepen this up just a little bit. These palettes you're not going to get very deep with. You're not going to get a whole lot contrast, but I like to have a little something out there. I understand why this palette isn't loved by many, but I think the individual colors are really, really pretty, and like I can blend this like black shade, we'll call it, the light gray, with the satiny blue. And I think the satins in here lend itself really well with this entire palette. I really want to do something blue and something yellow. I think this will be cute. Now I'm going to stamp this really light yellow on the inner portion. I cleaned off my brush really well, and I kind of want to put that in the inner corner and bring it up into the crease. I think the yellow is such a fun color, but I think this yellow to this greenish color is going to be such a good combo. I believe I did do a video primarily with this palette and another Nomad palette that I don't have anymore, but I think I did a video on how to make colorful makeup wearable. I think that video would definitely be helpful because I feel like spring is the time to, and I'm putting now more of this tealish blue color. I feel like spring is that time of year where people just wear a little bit more color. If that's in their clothing, if that's, you know, in makeup, you have brighter blushes, brighter lip colors. Like, you can have fun with your eyeshadow as well. That's kind of where we're at with the matte eyeshadow. I have a little bit of fallout down below, which I don't mind because I did do my face first. And it's kind of because I am stamping. The white base also doesn't have a whole lot of tack to it, so it is not like attaching itself to these eyeshadows. I am going to use the same tacky base for all of my looks. I think this just kind of gives the shimmers a little bit to grab onto, and it's the Diveroon Stick and Sparkle. Not my favorite, but it's just a tacky primer that I have here in my collection. There is not like a blue shimmer. You have two pinky or purpley shades, a yellow, a green, and this light color. So I am going to go into the satin blue color, pretty concentrated on my finger, because now that we have a tacky base, that color is definitely going to apply slightly better than over top of the light blue matte. I really want the blue to showcase on this look. And then I'm going to go in with the yellow, which this is going to have a slight shift to it. It's going to shift slightly pink toned because I feel like this yellow color works really well if you pair it with the pink colors. I think it looks really pretty. I'm sorry to flip you guys off, but it has to be done. This here is the upper eyelid of my eyes, and these colors are just really soft. You're gonna make a very soft eye look with it. But what I am going to do is I am going to clean up this fallout. I will be doing the rest of my face, and I think I will be putting this color on the lower lash line, maybe a little bit of the blackish color, and then I'm going to pretty heavily make the inner corner yellow with the matte and the shimmer, but I will be back with my finished and final look. This here is the finished and final look. I really think this is so much fun, and I will go in closer to show you what I did. I ended up adding some of these, like, what are they called? Like little stars. And then I ended up doing a little bit of that liner in the inner portion of my eyeliner. I just think this is so cute and this is so fun, and overall I really like the look. I feel like using an all pastel palette really lends itself well to kind of just play with other things that are in your collection. Like, I really enjoy adding the water activated eyeliner. So let's just go over everything that I have on my face. So I did end up putting some highlight in my inner corner just to brighten it up a little bit. It's in the Spotlight palette, the 6 color palette from BH Cosmetics. I used the shade Glow here. It's just like a gold highlighter, but I used that on the inner corner, and I also have that on my cheeks. I did use my Pan That Face palette, so I used the bronzer, both of the blushes. I just mixed the two blushes together, and then I kind of used the finishing powder to kind of buff it all around. So I did use all of my shades that are in here except for the highlighter. Because we did the yellow inner corner, I felt like I had to do my NYX Epic Wear liner stick in the shade Cosmic Yellow. I put this on my lower lash line. Is it the correct tone of yellow? No, but it definitely brightens the eyes up, and this definitely kind of plays in with the yellow we already have on the eyes. You guys already know the drill. The liquid eyeliner I have on is the Wet n Wild Breakup Proof. It is my favorite. And then the water activated liner palette that I have is this Matte Beauty one. So I kind of just mix colors around when I want. But the brush that actually comes with this is really nice. I have really enjoyed this palette. And because I have a palette like this in my collection, like I feel like I don't need every single like water activated thing that's out there. But I ended up using this middle shade because it was light enough. If I went in with this yellow, it would have been way too highlighty. And I think this was a nice combination, like a nice middle ground for me to do. I really think they're cute. They're not even, but who cares? This is why I have been really liking doing my makeup at home after I am done with work, because like I don't know if I could get away with doing this. I could have gone away with the little eyeliner tint in the inner corner, but I was not going to be able to do these little designs. I'm sure no one would say anything, but I really don't like to press my luck in those regards. So like, I think this is just so cute. I like it. And then for my lips, I did use a like really bright pink lip liner, but then I also am wearing this LA Girl Lip Haze Soft Matte Lip Color. I got this as a free gift with purchase from Ulta, which I think is really neat. And I think it's a pretty color, especially paired with the lip liner that I put it with. I did not add a gloss. Maybe I want to wear a gloss, I don't know. But the palette we use today is the Nomad Tokyo Harajuku palette. I love this palette, you guys know. I think you can make so many looks with just this palette. These are going to be softer colors. These are going to be nothing that punchy of a color. Like this is very soft and muted, and if you like soft and muted color, that's where you should go. But we did use this blue color, the light blue matte. We have this mid-tone-ish blue. There's nothing mid-tone in this palette. A mid-tone satin blue. There is this light pastel yellow matte. We used this color on the like inner portion of the lid and the inner corner, deepened it up a little bit with this dark shade. Although it did not do much, I think it definitely adds a little bit of dimension onto the eyes. This is such a good palette. I think it's really cute, and I'm very glad that I am pulling it out, getting some more use on it. So this here is the finished and final look for day one of this like pastel, I don't want to say challenge, like pastel looks. I hope you guys enjoy, and let's go on to look number 2. I have my eyes primed with my e.l.f. cream eyeshadow in the white shade, and I think we are going to be using the Belly Beauty Bar Pastel Garden. I messed it up in the last clip because I edited the clip yesterday right after I filmed it, and I said Secret Garden, which I do have Secret Garden from Belly Beauty Bar, but this is a beautiful little palette, and I'm really thinking we are going to be doing a purple pink look, and the shade that's really calling my name is this one right here. It is called Pansy, and it looks literally so stunning. So I think this is going to be the main attraction of this look, but I think we're going to be using this palette. I think we're going to do pinks and purples because I have already used the blues and greens, so I kind of want to work my way up and do the purples and pinks. I'm going in with Bleeding Heart, which is like a pink color, and I am just going to do my crease and just blend. I got this specific palette in friend mail in April, and I am so excited to have this palette. I think it is literally so pretty. I have always wanted this palette. I love pastel tones, and of course, like, I have 3 pastel palettes that are like solely pastels that are in this video. But I was thinking to myself, I'm like, what other palettes in my collection do I have that are pastel-y tones, or that has some prevalent pastels in it? And I have my ColourPop, the Alice in Wonderland palette. I do have that one. That one I could have added into this video. Just doing 3 looks, just using 3 palettes. The only one I believe that's available is this Bella Beauté Bar one. I do have a code with Bella Beauté Bar if you're interested, but I really like to just use my collection using 2 palettes that are no longer available. I'm sure some of you guys have at least one of them, or you can find something similar in your collection. And then this one is still available, but I'm still certain you have these colors somewhere in your collection. So I am going to go into Iris, which is, I think, the deepest purple that is in this palette. And I'm going to focus that on the outer and the inner crease. I did not do my face again today because I really don't know how far I'm gonna go with this look. But at the same time, like, I am going to go to work today, so I can't go crazy. I'm gonna try and go into Bluebell just to see if it'll give a slightly different interest on those inner and outer. This is just going to be a very soft halo eye. So I said in the last clip that I've been really enjoying doing my makeup after work, after I come home from work. Another main reason for that is I get to take my time. Today I did wake up earlier to do this video, to do this look, because thinking of the things we have to do when I come home from work, I don't think I'll have time to film anything. So I'm just being like precautious. But I really do enjoy taking my time and doing all that. I think I'm gonna take Bleeding Heart and kind of just sweep over these edges again. I said this in the first video, you're gonna have very soft looks, but I think there's just a slight bit of dimension, and I think it is definitely going to change once we put Pansy in the look. But I want to go into this False Indigo. Is this going to be... I don't think it's the right tone. I thought about putting this in the ultra center and then putting this on either side, but I don't think that's the type of tone that I'm looking for. And then Knockout Rose is definitely a pinky. Maybe we can do the middle shade. I don't know. I am going to use my Diver and Glitter Glue, or the Stick and Sparkle Pigment Primer, and I'm only going to put it on the middle portion of my eyes. I'm going to use a brush just to make sure that I have it in the areas I do want it. I'm going to put them on the outer pieces of the middle part that I have going on. I'm blending it into those purple mattes. And then we're gonna put Pansy in the center. But I really want a little bit more depth on the eye. It's crazy that this shimmer is giving more depth than the Iris shade, which is the shade we used the matte purple. But I'm just gonna add the shade once I have it blended out. But yes, I did wake up early today to do this look, and gonna go to work with this look, so it can't be anything too crazy. But lately I haven't really been wearing makeup to work. I just been sleeping in. And most of the days that I wear makeup, it's either the weekend or I do it after work. I'm gonna go in with my finger with Pansy. Oh, that's beautiful. I'm just gonna put that in the center. That makes the whole eyes pop. We're gonna blend it, but I just wanted to place the color there. Oh, that is pretty. This is definitely one of the shades that the friend who had this palette before me, I can tell she used this shade a lot, which I don't blame her. It is so pretty. I'm gonna take that false indigo and I'm just gonna blend that shimmer shade with the center shimmer shade. Blend those two together. So then you just get that nice pop in the center. Oh, that is pretty. And then I'm gonna go in with the purple matte. I'm gonna go in with the iris color, and I'm just going to blend especially this outer portion out a little bit, because I did place the shimmer really out there to get some to get a little bit of dimension, but I really want the matte to be prominent out there. I think because I put that glitter primer on, it's like not really wanting to move. And then one more time, I'm gonna put Bleeding Heart kind of just on the edges to kind of display, kind of diffuse these outer edges. This look is really, really pretty. I really do enjoy this look. This is the upper eyelid that I got going on. So what I'm going to do is I am going to do a really, really thin black eyeliner on the upper lash line. For the lower lash line, I will probably not do the halo on the bottom. I'll probably just put iris here on the lower lash line. On the most inner corner, part of me doesn't want to put anything. I kind of want to put maybe this light lavender shade on the inner corner just to keep the matte there but have it a little brightened because of it being lavender. And then I'll do the rest of my face and I'll be back. This here is the finished and final look for today's video for look number 2. So this here is what the finished and final look is looking like. It is very soft, very simple. It is really popping because of that center shade, but I think it is super cute. I think it is super soft, super pretty. I don't know. I did just the tiniest of wings because the true reason for doing a halo eye is not to elongate your eyes like I usually do. I just don't think the halo eye is my favorite shape of eyeshadow, but I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I did it. I do prefer more of a softer halo eye than a full halo eye, but this is my finished and final look, and I'll go over everything else that I used. So on my cheeks here, they're looking a little crazy, but I did use my Pan That Face palette. I used the bronzer and the highlighter, and then for my blush, I ended up using my Cosmic Brushes Mary blush. This is the cream blush. That's what it's on my cheeks here. It's on my cheeks there. Maybe I can tone it down with this brush. This is the brush I did my foundation with. I toned it down a little bit. During the day, when my makeup starts to kind of like break down, naturally, but like looking at it from a side angle, it definitely looks a little much. But these are the cheek products I'm wearing today. They're both Project Pan items. Of course, you guys know by now, Wet n Wild Breakup Proof is on the upper lash line. And then my lower lash line, I used my NYX Epic Wear Liner Stick in Periwinkle Pop. This is also in my Project Pan to finish it, so it goes with this look, so I used it. For my lips today, I really wanted to go a little bit purpley. It's very berry. I don't know how long it's gonna stay around, but I did use a stain. So this is the e.l.f. This is the glossy lip stain. This is in the shade Berry Queen. So I do have one shade in my Project Pan. This shade I obviously I'm wearing today. So I had it sit on my lips and then I blotted it, all the glossy bit away. And then I added my Fancy Cosmetica. This is the Warlock like lip oil in the ancient one. It's the purple. They don't have these anymore, unfortunately, but it's just like a jelly consistency, like a purple gloss. I'm sure there's other products out there, but that is the lip combo. Like I said, I don't know how long it's gonna last. I still have to eat breakfast. But the palette we used today was the Pastel Garden from Bella Vitae Bar. We ended up using Bleeding Heart here in the crease. I did put lavender in the most inner portion of the inner corner to keep it matte, but to keep it light and bright. So I did use lavender. Iris is primarily on the outer edges. I used Bluebell slightly to try and deepen it up. Didn't really work. You could have nixed that all together, I'm sure. False Indigo is what really is probably giving the depth on the eye. So these are on the outer bit of the middle section. Pansy is on the center bit of the eyelid. And then what I ended up doing on the lower lash line is I ended up putting Iris on the outer portion, and I put the False Indigo on the center of the lid. So here's my last and final go at look number 2. I hope you guys enjoy this segment, and let's go on to look number 3. We have the third and final look today, and the last and final palette that we have to use is the Garden of Juvias from Juvia's Place. So this is going to be the last and final look of the 3 pastel palettes. And we have already done a yellow and like blue look. We've done a purple look. So I'm thinking to myself, what is the last sort of look that we need to do today? And I think we're gonna have a Cosmo and Wanda moment, and we're gonna use the pink and green in this palette to do a Cosmo and Wanda look. I also want to specify the first look I did, I filmed after work. The second look that I did, I filmed in the morning, and I'm gonna have to edit the sound to make it a little better, because even though my fiance was like half asleep and doesn't recollect anything that I say or do in the morning, I still don't 110% feel comfortable filming when he's around or when he's home. So I talk quieter, and I don't think it was all that entertaining, the second look, so I'm very sorry. Look how adorable this is. I used it on Easter, and I did a reel/short. It was very colorful, very bright. If you're interested in another look with this palette, I do have a short/reel on it, but we're just gonna get right on into it. It has been stupid hot, stupid hot. It is like 90 degrees today. But here's the thing, next week it is going to be like down in the 50s again. I hate this weather. It does not know what it wants to do. And we don't want to put like the AC units in and all that because we do not have central air. It's like a rich person thing in my brain if you have central air. But we do not have central air. So we did turn our heat off, but we did not put the air conditioners in because like, I don't want to put the air conditioners in to use them for 2 days and then it goes back to 50 degrees. Like, that's just not how we're rolling here. So what we are doing is we're just opening all the windows and hope the breeze is enough for us. And the last 2 nights, We have been sleeping in like different locations. So like I've been in bed and he's been out on the couch because it's just way too warm for both of our bodies to be that close together. And I am someone who needs to be covered up all the time. So like I have a blanket half on me and he's like over there dying of like heat exhaustion. And then we have Shiloh, who is like our own mini radiator. So it's just has not been fun recently, but I don't want to put the ACs in, at least not right now. I don't think it's gonna be warm enough consistently for us to put the ACs in. And the last 2 summers that we have lived here, we have, for the most part, not really had AC at all in the main part of the house. I'm gonna try and put a little bit of the brown color on the outer corner to try and, I don't know, deepen up that pink color. Though I don't really think it's gonna deepen it up, really. I think it's just gonna add a different tone. Whatever, we'll keep going. But it's just been stupid hot and I hate heat, but at least like today, my car said 91 degrees, but it's not very humid. It's more of a dry heat, which I can handle that. But like I went to work today, so like I'm still wearing my like 3/4 length shirt because my office is usually always cold. So it doesn't matter what the heck I wear. But I'm wearing pants, of course, and I'm just a little toasty. So after I film like this video, I'm probably just going to put on my shorts and stuff. I am going to be putting a tacky base on, and we are going to be using 3 shimmers across the lid. So hopefully it all works out. But I hope you guys have been enjoying this video. I really do enjoy doing looks here with you guys, and I'm sure this video will flop because usually the ones that I'm most excited about doesn't tend to do well. So that's kind of my luck here. So these are the 3 shimmers that I am thinking about. So we have Blossom, which is the pink shimmer. This Money Tree shade is like a blue, but it has that pink shift to it. You can kind of see in the pan. So I'm thinking that would be a good inner shade. And then this green color called Flower Petals, I'm going to put on like the innermost portion of my lid and on my inner corner. I am going to be using a brush for this because I think I get the most control with a brush, and I may get a little fallout, but that's why I don't have my face done. I feel like when I use shimmers with a brush, they just do not, they apply nicely, but I feel like I get a lot more fallout, and to not really have that much fallout on my end result, I am doing my face last. So I hope you guys are doing good. How are you? How's the weather like in your neck of the woods? Like I said, it has been so back and forth, and that's usually how spring is. Like 1 week will be hotter than hell, and then the next week it'll be back down in the 50s, and we're gonna be like, what the heck happened? That's kind of what happened. Was it in March? It was like super nice, like 60, 70 degree weather it seemed like, and then it snowed. Like, really? Are you kidding me? We're snowing. It's just one of those things. I don't understand weather. These shades are blending really nicely in with each other, especially that Money Tree shade into the pink. I think that one flows really, really nicely into that color. And to really bring out that green, I am going to bring it up into the swoop, or whatever you guys call it. Whatever that's called, in the swoop area. These shimmers, man, this is a drugstore palette. This was the cheapest out of all of them. And honestly, the shimmers and the mattes, I think, work better than Nomad. Because I think these shimmers and these mattes are performing so well. And this palette is not new either. Like, it is a little bit of an older palette, and I don't even think they sell it anymore. And I'm adding some more pink just so I can have some matte on the outer corner. But this is what my upper eyelid is looking like. I think these shimmers are blending really, really nicely. And I think I am going to be doing like a fun eyeliner. I personally think this look is super fun so far. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hop off here real quick. I'll do the rest of my face. I'm not so sure what I'll do on the lower lash line. And I'm not so sure about liner or anything fun like that. I've been really having fun with the liner and doing some fun things with that. But I don't really know what I'm going to do. But I will be back to show you the finished and final look. So this here is the finished and final look for my 3 looks, 3 pastel palettes. And I did a Cosmo and Wanda sort of look. I have green and pink. This is the finished and final look. I added green eyeliner, as you can see. I did a little bit of a pink wing there. And then if you can tell, I did add some of these like little pink dots and then the little pink line. But that there is my finished and final look. I think it looks so fun. I think it looks so bright. That is why I love pastel eyeshadows so much, is that it just brightens your eyes, or at least it does mine in my opinion. But I think it looks so cute. I think it looks so fun. I'm really excited for it. So let me show you everything that I have on my face. I did use my Project Pan That Face palette. And if you guys are wondering about any sort of progress, my Project Pan playlist is going to be linked down below. But I used the bronzer as my bronzer, the highlighter as my highlighter, and then I mixed the matte blush in here with my NYX Buttermelt highlighter. This is in the shade You Butta Work. I consider this in my blush collection. It's in my blush inventory because it is way too pigmented for it to be an actual highlighter, but I like to mix it or add it on top of my blushes as a blush lighter. So that is really what I use this for. For eyeliner, so I ended up using this NYX Epic Wear eyeliner stick in the shade Pink Spirit. I have that on my lower lash line because I put the green down there and I really wanted to bring in a little bit more pink. I used this in the waterline. And then of course I used my Matte Beauty water activated eyeliner palette. Really any water activated liner palette will do. I used this shade on its own for the actual wing, and then I used this shade on its own for any pink accents. And then for my lips, they're very pink, they're very sparkly. So I ended up getting a lot of these MN Me Now liners, and I don't really know where they're from. This is in the shade 019. It is an eye and lip liner pencil, so it's eye safe and lip safe. I'm gonna count all of the shades that I have as eyeliners, but I've been specifically using this pink shade as a lip liner recently. I think I used this in the first look as well, I just didn't show it to you. So I really have only used this shade, and I've only used it on my lips. I don't know how these act on the eyes, but you will see that in my April low buy update. And then I also used a New to Me product to top the lip liner. I used this cute little Half Magic lip gloss I got in April. It's the Magic Drip Glitter Lip Gloss in Frosty Bitch. It is so pretty. I hope you guys can see just what it looks like. I really have enjoyed this so far. And I think that's it other than eyeshadow. So what we ended up using in the Garden of Juvia's palette, because this palette is so pretty, I think this makeup look encumbers what this palette can do quite well. And I just really, really love this palette. What I ended up doing is Peony in the crease. I used Oh Honey just a little bit in the outer corner. I don't think it did much. Lucky Clover is the matte that's in the inner portion of the lid. We have Blossom here that was in the outermost portion of my lid. I used Money Tree more in the center, and then I used flower petals in the inner portion of the lid and in the inner corner. On the lower lash line, I did Lucky Clover, and then I added a little bit of Money Tree into the inner portion. I hope you guys can see, and I hope you guys really enjoyed this last and final look. This video is just to play with the makeup I already own. I already owned these 3 palettes. Granted, one of them was new to me, but that was from friend mail. I am not going out and spending money on more pastel palettes. I have plenty of pastel palettes to get me through, I don't know, the rest of my life in another one. Like, that is how much eyeshadow I have. So I don't need to buy more pastels, but I can certainly love and enjoy the pastels I already have in my collection. You do not need to buy any of these palettes. Just go into your collection and play around with what you already have. And I am certain that I could have done this look with the Bella Beauté Bar palette. I'm sure I could have done the first look with this palette. Like, it's so interchangeable, but it's just playing with color, getting a little bit more fun and creative with your eyeshadow. Eyeshadow for me is more of an art. It calms me down. It's like therapy for me. So I really enjoy coming out here, showing you guys my fun eyeshadow. If you guys enjoy this video, and if you enjoy makeup related content, eyeshadow related content, all of the above, I highly recommend you subscribe, like this video. What is your favorite pastel palette in your collection? I would love to know. And I hope you guys have a fantastic spring. I love and appreciate you all so much, and I shall see you guys next time.